So anyhow, what I'm going to talk about a little bit today is body language and the social engineer. If any of you don't follow my work, then you'll know. If you do after this, you go to social-engineer.org. You know, this is one of my big hobbies, my first loves, is body language and facial expressions. And a lot of people ask, well, why is this important for social engineers to know? We're going to get into that. But first, let me just define how I define social engineering. Because a lot of times when you search for it on the web, you know what you get back is definitions that say something like the malicious use, or they always have the word malicious in there. And I don't personally feel that social engineering is always malicious. I think that a lot of times it's not malicious, that you use the same principles of influence, rapport building, communication styling, elicitation when you're talking to your spouse, your kids, your boss, your priest, your clergy, most of you, your therapist. You know, all those things, you use these same exact principles of influence, and they work the same exact way as the bad guys. Anyone here ever hear of Victor Lustig? Victor Lustig, right? He's a guy who sold the Brooklyn Bridge like 8 times. He sold the Eiffel Tower a couple times. How did he do it? Well, he convinced people that it was in their best interest to buy shares in this metal because they were going to scrap it. And then they bought the shares, fell for it, and ended up getting duped. The guy finally gets arrested. And while he's being walked through the prison to his cell, he sees a window washing bucket, and he grabs a squeegee, puts it in his back pocket. He gets locked in the cell, ties his sheets together. This is not a joke. This is not a cartoon. Throws the sheets out the window and lowers himself while making believe he's washing windows. And he escapes prison because everyone saw him and said, oh, that's the window washer. All of those things, that's malicious side. The same exact ways can be used for the positive side. And we do this all the time. How many of you speak the same way to a cop that you do your wife, husband, mother, or father? No, you don't. Unless you're super respectful to your wife, husband, mother, or father, which that may be true. Yeah, so we don't, right? We have more comfort with those people, so we alter our communication styles, and we're different types of communicators. So today we're going to talk about the one aspect of communication, which is body language. Now, there's some myths out there that we need to talk about first. And when you do research on nonverbal communication, a lot of times you'll see pie charts like this, where they'll say that 65%, 55%, they have all these massive percentages that talk about how much of what we say is nonverbal. The problem with these percentages is that it really depends on the type of communication. If I'm on the phone eliciting information from you, there's a huge difference in my influence upon you based on my nonverbal body language. Does it still apply? Yes, but it's probably not 70, 80, 90, or 50, or 65%. It's probably less, because it will affect my vocal tone and my posture, and those things will all be affected. But it's really not this. So we need to debunk first that these percentages really mean anything, because they don't. So first we want to just say that that's really not the way to understand this type of research. Second is that the words we communicate do have an effect on the people that we say. I always find this one meme funny, you know, because actually this applies to me all the time. All the women that talk to me sound just like Batman. So, yeah. But being able to understand what's not being communicated through words, but what's being communicated through the body, gives you a real big power. It can almost make you seem like you can read minds, because you understand the emotional content from a person, even though they're not saying it to you. And that's a really, really powerful thing to have in your arsenal as a social engineer. But there's so many things to talk about. My favorite picture here, right there. Oh yeah, that's beautiful, right? But there's so many aspects to nonverbal communication, right? We have up here, we have emblems. And this is the use of hand signals, not gestures. They're different. Hand signals that give a whole message out. Right? Anyone here from Brazil? Right? I learned this the hard way. When you do this in Brazil, and I'm saying something pretty derogatory to you. Yes, right. I know. Thank you. But I didn't know that. And I was doing a class in Brazil, and I was like, everything okay? Everything okay? And this woman in the front row reeled back every time I did it. I'm like, maybe I smell bad. I'm going to back up a little. Finally, someone took me aside and said, you're calling her a bad word every time you do this. This is an emblem. It means something. This, you know, the people in the UK, this is like saying F you, right? So these things, we understand emblems, but it's a lot to learn every culture, and they mean things with different cultures. Manipulators. Could be, and you probably saw all of us doing this. I'm standing up here doing this with my ring, rubbing my hands. Why? I'm nervous. It's a manipulator. That's what manipulators mean. We manipulate our clothing, other parts of our body, and it shows our emotional content, whether we're nervous or not. Self-comforting. We do this often when we're stressed, right? We kind of rub our neck, or we see women, they might do this on their neck, or we play with this is self-comforting. And it helps us to relieve tension or stress when we're feeling it. Eye blocking can tell us a lot. Someone doesn't want to see the things that they're talking about. They're nervous, they're sad, they're upset. And then, of course, Dave with his beautiful facial expression. This is what we call lip pursing. This is big nervousness, right? I'm super nervous. I'm not sure if what I'm being asked I should answer. And that's what we see here. And this is my ultimate favorite, genital framing. Once you see this, guys, you'll never unsee it. And this really is a problem, okay? There's nobody here I want a genital frame up front. So, no, I definitely don't want a genital frame bones. Okay, ma'am, I need a volunteer. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do it. Oh, look, Mr. X is right up front. Let me genital frame Mr. X. No, okay. So we do this when we frame. You know, we hang our hands here like this. We frame, and this means, look, I'm a virile young male. I got proof. It's right in the frame. You can see it. Everyone can see it. See? And we do this. We don't realize we do it. You'll see guys do this all the time. They hang their hands from their pockets. This is my favorite one. If you had a chair here, you could put your leg up. There's a girl sitting there, and you're like saying, my property, back off. Right? And we see these things all the time. But now this is so much to watch for, isn't it? There's so many things to watch for when you're talking about body language. I didn't start my time. That's awesome. So I have 55 more minutes. I don't. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that to you. So when we talk about body language and nonverbals, unless you've been doing it for years, it's hard to say, look, watch for all of these things. And if you see any of them, it means this. And this one means this. So much to think about. So I like to boil it down and simplify it and say, let's just look at two things. Let's just try to focus on two aspects of nonverbal communication instead of all of those. And I love that meme also, because it really is awesome. That was a real hand-in. And that is comfort versus discomfort. I saw this in real life, and I can tell you right now that was great discomfort. That was zero chaos. Hugging Dave on stage. Well, doing more than hugging, okay? And comfort. We want to notice comfort versus discomfort. Why? Why do we want to notice those things? Who can tell me? Instead of all the other things, the 8, 9 different portions, why is comfort versus discomfort so important? Okay, so he said if someone's comfortable, they'll give you more information. Great. That's perfect. Anything else? Empathy. Okay, if we notice comfort versus discomfort, we can build empathy. Anyone else? Honesty? Tell me more.
Someone is very comfortable and they're not showing any signs of agitation at all. You know, they're likely being honest and telling a lie.
Oh, I like this. Okay, we're going to get into that a little bit. Sir, all the way in the back. Or right there, too.
It can give you a frame for the actual body language. For example, if they're discomfort and it's cold in the room, they might be crossing their arms, and that's a key indication that
I like that.
It could be an environmental thing and not their frame of mind.
Yes, I like this. So we talk about baselines when we talk about body language, because their old 1990s sales trainers used to teach that if you stood like this, that means you were closed off to what I'm saying. This guy's been sitting here like that the whole time, and yet he's interested in what I'm saying. Does that mean he's closed off? No, it doesn't mean that. It could mean that's the way it's comfortable for. How many of us stand like this because it's comfortable? Right? Look at all the hands. How many of us stand like this when we're cold? Right? We do it. We do this. It doesn't mean that we're shut off to what's being said. So it could be environmental. And seeing a baseline change, seeing someone go from sitting like that to all of a sudden doing this, might tell us this guy just got uncomfortable. Was it my questioning? Was it my posture? Was it my body language? All these things that could be analyzed. So just noticing comfort versus discomfort can do a lot for us in helping us to understand what the emotional content of the subject that we're dealing with is. And notice, guys, I'm saying the word subject now, not target. Someone asked me to use the word subject. It sounds less malicious. So let's talk about 3 aspects of comfort. And that's arm placement, head tilt, and a genuine smile. And these 3 things, you master doing these and reading these. These can change the way you communicate. No joke. So let's first talk about arm placement. Okay, all of these things, and this is what I found truly amazing when you look at research into this, is all of these things, and you look at this from infancy, babies who aren't taught anything, they just do this naturally. When they are feeling comfortable, they make themselves bigger. They make their arms wider. They go over their head. When you're feeling confident, your arms go up. Why? Why do you think that is? What is confidence? Why do your arms go up when you feel confident? What are you exposing? Everything. So if you're feeling confident, you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling trusting, it's okay to expose everything. When we're not feeling comfortable, we make ourselves smaller, right? And we'll talk about that in a minute. So from infancy, when we feel this way, when we're feeling comfortable, we're feeling happy, we make ourselves bigger. Look at Steve in the back. He's got his, no, Steve, you should have kept it. His arms were up just like that. He's got his video going, he's comfortable with it, everything's running smooth, and his arms are above his head. It's a high confidence pose, and it's a really nice thing to see. So when we see this in someone, and there could be different versions of this. I'm going to have a hard time doing this with a mic, but we see people do this. It's called steepling. You see this often? We call this steepling. This is another version of this. High confidence. When people do this, they are feeling comfortable and confident with what they're saying. So you'll see, yes, and you'll see people raise that steeple when they're maybe under attack, but they're very confident about what they're doing. They raise the steeple really high. Like, look, I'm telling you, I'm really confident. So we'll see those kinds of things all the time. Arm placement is a very good indicator of comfort. Also, if you see someone with open ventral displays, means that the sides that are open on our wrists, the inside, they're exposed. This means comfort and trust. Someone who was awesome at this was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, when he was running for president, all of his speeches would be open ventral displays with his arms out. This is inviting, isn't it? In this country, when we invite people to do something, we say, come here. Right? We do this. When we command people, we do this. So when you invite people, they feel warm and open to you. And it was really interesting. The only time President Clinton turned this was when he got caught with Monica, right? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And all of a sudden, it was not this. Right? That was a horrible Bill Clinton, by the way. I'm losing my voice. It was like the Godfather Clinton. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Anyhow, so we look at arm position as a comfort versus discomfort. And it really can help. You're not focusing on the whole body. You're looking for one thing. And baseline changes. Oh, I love this one. Let's look at head tilt. Not that, okay? That is not the right kind of head tilt, no. Ladies, don't do that. We get scared, okay? We get real scared. Don't look at us that way. And guys, don't look at girls that way. It's even creepier, okay? Peter, don't do it. Okay, so what I mean by positive head tilt is this. Again, why is head tilt so powerful? Who can tell me? Very good. He said it exposes the ventral part of our neck. And this is biology. We say, look, I trust you. I trust you enough to expose this part of my neck, and this could have been the death blow. But I trust you to do it, right? And we see the head tilt. Now, you got to balance it. You got to balance it, right, guys? You can't be like, hey, trust me. Look, I have everything open and ventral, and I'm genital framing. You can't do that, right? You're going to look like a freak of nature, so... You gotta balance all of that with your body language and your style. I'm a bigger guy, so I gotta be cautious with how much head tilting I do because I look a little psychotic. But I thought this was an excellent, because usually you see a lot of pictures when you look on the internet about this with women doing it. But I love this picture of Hugh Jackman because it's like a great example of masculinity with a proper head tilt. And he looks really trusting, and he looks like someone that you would really trust to get to know. And this one is excellent too. And this one too with a genuine smile, which we'll talk about next. A head tilt. I'm sorry? Well, so here's something that's interesting when you're coming about models, is a lot of times they're positioned by their handlers. So it's hard to read modeling pictures. I used it because it was one of the few I can find of a male that was doing a good head tilt. With a smile, with somewhat of a smile, something of a happy face. Most of the times, you don't really see that in men because they're always trying to look so masculine and confident. I'm going to steeple and tell you I'm a man. So, we don't really see this too much in males. So when I found this picture, I use it for that. But if this was a natural pose, like if he was at the Emmys and they had a shot of him in the audience and he was sitting like this, I probably would read it much different, more closed off. right? With the backside of his arm facing the knee up. I would probably face it that way. But since this is probably a pose he was put in, I'm not gonna go that far. You're gonna model. Mr. X is gonna model for me. That's great. You can do all genital framing for me, okay? So let's talk then about genuine smile. And this is so important, guys. Who can tell me the difference between a sincere and insincere smile? Let's get someone who hasn't done it yet. You over there, young lady. Your eyes. I love it. So your eyes, when we activate our ocular nerves on the side of our eyes, is what they call crow's feet, then it actually is a genuine smile. There used to be this big philosophy that you couldn't fake it. You couldn't fake a smile. Then in 1885, I think it was, some French scientist, Duchenne, he came up with this great idea to prove that he can make people really smile. So he grabbed a bunch of people and drilled holes in their face and stuck electrodes in their muscles and shocked them with a battery. Love the French, right? And he traveled around the country. Actually, well, we have tons of time. Because look, I'm still at 55 minutes. So I can show you a picture of that if you want to see it. Anybody want to see it? Yeah, this is the way to do a really, okay, here we are, Duchenne, D. There we are. Awesome. And let me bring that over. Yeah. So this is basically what he did. And he walked around shocking the crap out of people's faces just like that. And there's a whole paper. There's a whole paper that he wrote. Of course, this paper by Dr. Ekman, who is my mentor and all this stuff. He's the guy who wrote this paper based on, and I'm down, yes. Is it back? Okay. I'll stop moving things around and doing things like that because of problems like this. Don't touch it, Chris. Don't touch it. Okay, anyhow, that study talks about all the different things that Duchenne did. And what he was able to prove is that he could activate the people's ocular nerves, the nerves on the side of their eyes, which means that we can do it without feeling real happiness. If you practice this, there'll be two benefits. Two benefits. I can count also. I'm Hungarian. I can count to two. 1 and 1. Okay, so when you actually have a genuine smile, the two benefits are, 1, people will trust you more, and 2, you will feel happier. You actually could activate happiness in you by just real smiling, not fake smiling. Fake smile is only your mouth. Real smile is your whole face. You mix that with open ventricles and a head tilt, and people be flocking to you. They'll be throwing themselves at you. Look, this happened. I just did this. And look at all these people at my feet. See? See how amazing that works? Okay, we got to go past all this. Bam, bam. Oh, yeah, don't do that. Yep, bad. Jumping forward. There we are. Okay, great. Now let's look at signs of discomfort. Okay, signs of discomfort being signs of tension, eye blocking, and lips. So our signs of tension are really easy to see. This is great, by the way. So we do these engagements in our 5-day class that we teach, and we send our students out into the wild, and then our last day, we follow them around, and we take pictures of them engaging with complete strangers, and then we analyze their body language. And look at this guy. This is not a student. This is just a stranger in the mall at Caesars, and he looked so uncomfortable. He was rubbing his neck because the guy was leaning into his girlfriend, talking to the girlfriend the whole time, and the guy's like, what's going on? What's happening? No one's talking to me. They're all focusing on my girlfriend. And you could see these signs of discomfort. He was rubbing the neck and the tension out of his neck. Why do we rub our neck? What happens when we feel tense? Guys? Our muscles get tense. I kind of gave the answer away, and none of you got it. You thought there was a trick answer, right? So our muscles get tense, so we rub our neck and our shoulders to kind of relieve some of that tension. We can do other things that are self-confident, like you see people who rub their face a little, or they may rub their neck, or they do this often, and you could see that as signs of tension. Oh, yeah, I zoomed in on that one because I thought that was a really epic picture. Other signs of tension, you see, women who cover this. Anyone know what this is called? The little notch at the base of your neck in the middle of your collarbones? Nape is one word. What? A suprasternal notch. Very good try. I always messed it up too. So it's called the suprasternal notch. Anytime you see a picture of a woman who lost her child, like in a mall or, on security cameras, if you did, that's what they do. If you look at pictures of pedestrians when the planes hit the towers in 9/11, you see a lot of women doing two things, this and covering their mouth. These are very high signs of discomfort. If you ever, guys, bar tip, you approach a girl in a bar, and as you say your opening line, she does this, go away, you've lost, okay? You just lost. Just turn around and walk away and try someone else. Okay? She's uncomfortable. Or analyze your body language and figure out why. Did you lean into her like this? And she's like, look at this guy, he just reeled back. Another one we see with guys is, the whole neck adjusting. When we get tense, our shirts and collars feel worse than they are. So we start to tug at them and things like that. Okay, another big one to watch for when it comes to discomfort is eye blocking. Eye blocking is really important when you see it in your subjects, because eye blocking means that there's something that's upsetting me and I don't want to see it. Now, here's the big problem that we can all confuse with eye blocking when it comes to social engineering. You see someone do it and you automatically assume it's about you. It's not the case. Eye blocking could be something psychological. It could be something where I'm thinking about something that made me sad. Maybe I really love animals and on the way to work I hit a dog and it really upsets me. And I just happen to be thinking about it when you walk into my office to try to SE me. And I'm sitting there doing this. It doesn't necessarily mean it's about you. It could be that I was thinking about some sad event that just occurred in my life. Yes, ma'am.
So then maybe that woman at the bar is upset about something else.
Okay. So the comment was maybe the woman at the bar is upset about something else. And that's a good thing to read. So here's how we discern the difference. If you walk up to her and she's looking all great and confident and happy, and you say your opening line, which do you think is going to be so smooth, and she goes, no, it's not about something else. It's about you and you should back up, okay? But if you walk up to her and she's sitting there doing this, yeah, maybe she's just upset about something else, right? So you want to watch for multiple things and not always judge the book by its cover, but that's a great point. So thank you for bringing it up. Lips is another huge one because we can watch it easily. This is a nice one because we don't have to be pros to look for these. The lips and lip anxiety can tell us a lot of things about how a person is feeling. You see people who lick their lips a lot. It's kind of a way of word blocking, like maybe I want to say something or I don't want to say something, I'm not really sure, so you lick your lips. Lip pursing, this one down here, excellent picture of that. That's a big facial anxiety expression. If you see that in someone, let's paint a picture. You walk into the front desk, you ask for your request, and you see someone do that. What's happening? Thank you, Natalie, you just puckered your lips at me. What do you think that's saying? Okay, so let's not read into the emotion, but something is being masked, because I like that, yes? Okay, maybe. What else? Any other guesses? Okay, so what the gentleman over here said is whatever I did or asked is causing some difficulty for them. And that's great, because that's exactly what's happening. He's processing my request and wondering if he should really honor it. If we see that, we may have made the request either too strong, or we just need to give that guy some time to process, or depending on what else is happening around us, we may need to soften that request so they can honor it. Yep. Exactly. So just back up a little, have some chit chat, build some more rapport. We definitely don't want to see this kind of expression in our targets. We see that there's some anxiety there, and the anxiety is not good. Okay, and this one, which is really hard to see on this screen, but Bill Clinton's doing that lower lip bite, which is very similar to where someone asks us a question and we don't want to answer it, not really sure if this question should be answered. So we kind of bite our lip. It's kind of like saying, I really don't want to do that. And one that I didn't, but Natalie did it for me, is the lip pucker. Any of us have kids here? Catch a kid in a lie, right? There's cookie crumbs all over the floor and you told them not to eat a cookie. And you say, why'd you eat the cookie? What do they do? Right? Yeah, and that's lip. I have something I really don't want to tell you. Okay? When we see that in people, that indicates that maybe our request is something that they don't want to honor. So again, back up, soften, build more rapport, and come back in for the request another time. Learning to recognize these signs can help you with these things. It can tell you a person's true intent, and that's really important. So forget about being a social engineer for 1 second. From your end, when people make requests of you, you can learn what their true intent is by being able to read their nonverbal body language. And that's a really big, powerful thing. Second is you can learn what's not being said. So you're walking through the hallway and you see Joe and you don't really like Joe, or you think Joe doesn't like you or not, and you greet each other and he goes, hey, Chris, happy to see me or no? No, he's not happy to see me. Insincere smile. So we need to, definitely take a look at that type of body language. And also in the SE arena, if you're doing a good job, then you should never see signs of discomfort, unless your pretext is to cause the signs of discomfort. But most of the time, if you're trying to build rapport and make people comfortable and feeling better for having met you, then you should see no signs of discomfort, and you should see all the genuine smiles and the head tilts, and everyone should be happy to see you and letting you into their server rooms. Who can tell me, what's this expression over here on your left? Fear. Excellent. On the right, surprise. These two expressions often get confused because they both have the raised eyes, wide open eyes, and they both have mouth gestures that could be similar. These are extreme, but many times fear and surprise get confused. And it's really important to not confuse those two, because when we see surprise in a subject, that a surprise is a gateway emotion. And surprise can be good, right? If you walked in this room and all these people yelled surprise and it was your anniversary, birthday, or whatever, you'd be happy. But if someone jumped out and said surprise and then stabbed you, you're not going to be happy, right? So, the surprise can lead to different emotions. You would still feel surprised in both of those scenarios, but the ending emotion would be way different, whether it was anger, sadness, or happiness. So we want to make sure we understand this. Where fear, generally, okay, now unless we're talking like thrill rides and stuff, fear can generally in a social engineering engagement will lead to sadness or anger afterward. So we want to avoid the fear in our targets and surprise. How about this one? This one is what? Contempt. Excellent. And this one is a very subtle attempt at a smile. These often get confused. Believe it or not, contempt and happiness get confused because of the smirk on the face. And it's very fast. And I'll tell you a little story. If anyone bought my first book, and if you have it, you should check on page 111. And if it has a picture of Simon Cowell, you should keep that and never get rid of it, because there's only 3,000 of them in the world. Because I put a picture of him in my first book, and I didn't know you had to ask permission because I'm not an author. And somehow, after 3,000 books, he found out, and I got a letter from his lawyers, and they said, take it out or you're getting sued. So I had to take his picture out, and they took all the books down. There's only 3,000 of them in the world, so if you have one, save it, because now I'm using him in the speech. See that, Simon? You're up there. Okay, so these get confused often, contempt and happiness. Huge differences in between them. Contempt is what? I'm sorry? Yes, moral superiority. So if you feel morally superior to your subject, or your subject feels that about you, you have lost. Actually, there was a study done recently by Dr. Ekman, and he states that if you feel contempt in your marriage is doomed to fail. It's one emotion that you can't fix. You get angry at your wife or your husband, don't you? That happens. You could be sad, you could be afraid, you could be surprised, you could be happy. But if you feel contempt, it's over. Because you can't feel morally superior to someone and love them. Those two things don't match. I'm sorry? Yes, it is. To a marriage or a relationship, it could be like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Very powerful emotion. I never, ever want to see it on a social engineering engagement. Okay, I got some video clips. I want you to see if you could pick out the emotion going on here. How much time do I have? Let's see. I have 55 minutes. You guys all rock. Oh, good. I got 20 minutes. Okay, so let's go through a few of these video clips. Hang on. Epic fail. There you go. Okay. Okay, so this is a really grainy video. Yes, my sound guy comes to help me. And the grainy video is not that great, but there's a couple really key things. So this is Bush Sr. in a debate with Clinton. And there's a couple really great things that occur right off the top here that could tell us a lot about what's occurring here emotionally. Okay, and this can also explain why Clinton won this debate. Hang on, how come I have no sound? Sound guy. Please fix me, sound man.
And if it hasn't, how can you honestly...
Okay, we missed it. There's something that happened right in the beginning, so let me back up now that we got all of our technical difficulties arranged. Okay, so this debate is the part of the debate where people in the audience can ask questions. Okay, so please watch Bush right from the beginning.
We have a question right here.
Yes, how has it...
Anyone miss it? Okay, did you miss it? So she says, we have a question right here. And as Bush gets up, he does this. What does that tell you? You ask me a question, and instead of looking at you and answering it, I go, what am I more concerned about? That's right. I'm more concerned about what time it is, not you. Really bad idea for the President of the United States, right? With his constituents. Not a good play. Not a good play. Okay, it doesn't get much better.
National debt personally affected each of your lives? And if it hasn't, how can you honestly find a cure for the economic problems of the common people if you have no experience in what's ailing them?
Well, I think the national debt affects everybody. Obviously, it has a lot to do with interest rates. It has...
She's saying you personally.
On a personal basis, how has it affected you?
Has it affected you personally?
Well, I'm sure it has. I love my grandchildren. I want to think think that they're going to be able to afford an education. I think that that's an important part of being a parent. Maybe I won't get it wrong. Are you suggesting that if somebody has means, that the national debt doesn't affect them?
Oh, what I'm saying,
I'm not sure I get it. Help me with the question, and I'll try to answer it.
I've had friends that have been laid off from jobs.
Yeah.
I know people who cannot afford to pay the mortgage on their homes, their car payment. I have personal problems with the national debt. But how has it affected you? And if you have no experience in it, how can you help us if you don't know what we're feeling?
I think she means more the recession, the economic problems today the country faces, rather than the deficit.
You ought to be in the White House for a day and hear what I hear and see what I see and read the mail I read and touch the people that I touch from time to time. I was in the Lomax AME Church. It's a black church just outside of Washington, D.C.
Oh, boy. There's just a whole mess of wrong going on here, right? So, first of all, what's his body language telling you? Okay, self-protecting, something else. What are we seeing? Yeah, closed hand. He's not nervous, right? This is called manipulators. So we get nervous. And it's right that he's nervous, not understanding the question. He's answering it wrong. And what does nervousness generally lead to, do you think, in this kind of a situation? I'm sorry, someone said it. Who said it? Over here. You? Yes, being defensive. And that's what happens. He got nervous, so he started to defend his position. Now, let's just see where he's at in this, because you really got to see how Clinton opens this up.
And I read in the bulletin about teenage pregnancies, about the difficulty that families are having to make ends meet. I talked to parents. I mean, you got to care. Everybody cares if people aren't doing well. But I don't think it's fair to say you haven't had cancer, therefore you don't know what it's like. I don't think it's fair to say, whatever it is, if you haven't been hit by it personally, but everybody's affected by the debt because of the tremendous interest that goes into paying on that debt. Everything's more expensive. Everything comes out of your pocket and my pocket. So it's that. But I think in terms of the recession, of course you feel it when you're president of the United States. And that's why I'm trying to do something about it by stimulating the export, investing more, better education system.
Okay, now, watch Clinton. As soon as he starts... Who's clapping at that? Bush lover. Okay, so let's watch Clinton as soon as he starts. Okay, as soon as he starts, because he just dominates this portion.
Glad to clarify.
Tell me how it's affected you again.
And what's the first thing he does? Yeah, so he walks towards her, and it's a real personal thing, right? I'm really interested in you. right? And it's a real personal thing. And he doesn't tower over the person like I am, this poor guy who just backed up because I'm getting closer and closer to him. But he walks towards her, okay? His hands are low. He's not manipulating. Watch what he does next.
You know people who lost their jobs
yeah.
and lost their homes?
Uh-huh.
Well, I've been governor of a small state for 12 years.
Oh, I love it. You see the open ventrals? Does this? He opens his hands and then he starts. I'm not going to let you watch. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing because we'll talk about more. But he starts to talk about his own personal experiences and the people in his life who have lost their homes due to the economy, and then proceeds to blame it on the administration, and then totally wipes the floor and wins. Right? But what does he do? It's not his argument only. His nonverbals had a lot to do with it. He was so warm and open and non-defensive. Really, really powerful display of that there. Repeat the first part. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah. Right. So the point he was making is it looked like a little more staged with President Bush, like where he was walking and kind of trying to do the thing and talk about the things he was doing in government. Whereas Bill Clinton, he basically came out and said, I've been affected like you. We're part of that tribe now, right? We're part of that same tribe because I've had the same problems you have, and I can understand. And that makes people feel really warm and open. Here's one more video clip that we'll watch. Anyone know Russell Brand? Russell Brand, this guy's nuts, right? He's off the hook. Well, he was on the show called The Morning Joe. It's just, okay, you know this clip? Oh, this is the most epic clip ever because there's so much uncomfort. This is like the fail bus all the way home. I love this clip.
All right, joining us now, he's a really big deal.
He's a big deal.
I know. I'm told this. I'm not very pop culture. I'm sorry. Comedian, movie.
It's what? Oh, it just takes a second?
Star, author, and host of the show Brand X, Russell Brand. This summer he's embarking on his first ever worldwide comedy tour, The Messiah Complex. Katty Kay and Brian Chapman are here as well.
Some great stuff right up front, right? So he comes on, he's really confident, wouldn't you say? He's sitting up straight, his chest is out, his arms are big. He's feeling pretty good. Hey, I'm on the morning news. This is a pretty good spot for me. And nothing wrong with that. He feels good, okay?
Oh, and he already told Brian that he might want to disrobe. I'm just saying.
Well, I just thought maybe I could loosen up a little, show a little more chest hair, and he said maybe I should do a little more.
I only think Russell can do that. You look fantastic.
That is a very kind compliment. You also look beautiful. Brian, you are free to wear whatever you want. This is one of your freedoms that is afforded to you.
I appreciate that.
Uh-oh. Silver boots? The boots are
I want to see them. Come on. Put them on the table.
Kinky boots time.
Wow.
There are some boots.
Those are nice. Put your feet up, relax.
I wouldn't do that. I don't want to disrespect your program.
Okay, no.
You did ask to see.
No, I did,
boots.
and I
You're
liked
a fellow Englishwoman, so I felt obliged.
We've talked about kinky boots recently. So
yes, it's a fantastic show. You have to go. Okay, Russell. Ooh,
sorry about that.
That's all right.
You just disrespected the table.
Giant Jenga. It's like your desk is a puzzle.
It is. I'm sorry about that.
What is the solution?
I think we could try to pull it back in. So,
there you go, love. Be careful because that's a low-cut dress.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay. What happened? Right? He points out her low-cut dress, and she right away, oh, that was uncomfortable. Okay, so we see that discomfort sign.
I'm only flesh and blood. I've got instincts.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Starts seeing manipulators. Right now she's fixing her hair. Okay. And just called out like her boobs on public television. And it's like uneditable because it's live. Right? And captured by the internet.
Well,
tell me what you need to know.
I'm just going to have a drink here. Katty Kay, question.
Messiah Complex, that's the name of your tour?
Yes.
Do you have one?
No. It's a mental illness.
Right. And you don't have that either?
I hope that I'm here as a fully qualified professional gentleman.
None of us are.
Free from mental illness.
Free from it.
None of you. This is a hotbed of neurosis and psychosis.
Yes.
Oh, my word, I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
But Joe's not here, so there are no messiahs.
That's true. Although we actually bring more mental illness to the table than we admit, at least on this side here, for sure.
On this side.
So tell me about the tour. You're starting in Abu Dhabi.
Did you see his expression? It was like, what the heck? Like, what am I here to discuss, right? I mean, you saw that, right? Clear. And now she's trying to regain, but do you look at her hand position, her facial expressions. It just gets better, guys. Like, really, this gets so good.
Abby? Is that where it began?
Yeah, it's in a lot of Middle Eastern nations and South Africa and all across Europe, and of course in your wonderful country and in our country. I'm very, it's a really good tour. I'm talking about Malcolm X, Che Guevara, Gandhi, and Jesus Christ, and how these figures are significant culturally, and how icons are appropriated and used to designate consciousness and meaning, particularly posthumously.
And what brings all those people together?
They're all people that died for a cause. They're all people.
Okay, you see her? You see the blonde host? She's doing a lot of self-comforting right now. She's still a little uncomfortable with him, okay?
People whose icons are used to designate meaning, perhaps not in the manner in which they intended.
I kind of like that. That sounds dead serious.
Yeah, it's funny when you do it as a joke. I don't take it seriously. I just want to do it on stage.
Can't we get 30 seconds now?
Well, not really, love. I mean,
Gandhi,
this is
go.
our work. Gandhi, go.
Gandhi, go.
I hope that's not your message to Gandhi and the people of India.
It's funny though, because I travel a lot. And
all these people are at work, are they?
Yeah, they're working.
Yeah. They're just at work.
Well, no.
Work more quietly.
They're Facebooking, actually.
What are they doing?
Facebooking.
Yeah. They're Facebooking?
Yeah.
Shopping.
I bet they can't look at pornography. I bet it's blocked on their websites, huh?
Oh, I don't know.
They look pretty focused. But they're allowed to look at, if they wanted to, they can tweet, they can Facebook.
Yeah, they have to. That's part of
They're
their
probably
job.
tweeting right now.
They're tweeting themselves senseless back there.
Yeah.
Lovely. That's to create the atmosphere of we're a hotbed of news.
It's a working news. Yeah.
They're actually actors.
They're all fully qualified
them.
Yeah.
They're all just now looking for acting work.
So people, you have a pretty broad range here. I'm going to ask a serious question. Can I try? I'll try.
Try. It's never going to work.
I'll try.
Go ahead.
Everyone asks, what do you like better, TV, movies, or stand-up? But which one's more difficult? I mean, going on stage, I think, is probably pretty tough. A movie can be boring because you shoot a thing 100 times. TV is what it is.
There are challenges.
Is that a real smile or not? No, not a real smile, right? Okay. Yeah, exactly. He was like, yeah, really, you're going to ask me that question?
In all of those different disciplines. The thing I enjoy most...
He's like, I'm a stand-up comic. What kind of a dumb question is this, right?
It's stand-up comedy because you're direct with your audience. You can't be misinterpreted. People can't get confused. You know what happens if you work in media? People like to change the information so that it suits a particular agenda. If you're in a room with people, then what you're saying is clear. If you say something that people are confused about, you can explain it to them then. If you say something as a joke, people can't pretend that you're saying it seriously. So I like having direct communication with people because I believe people are very, very intelligent, but the information gets manipulated a lot and people like to cause fake stirs and stuff.
Funny, the accent, when I see him in person, it's totally fine. Forgetting Sarah Marshall or the TV show, it's fine. But on satellite radio in the car, I can't understand a single joke you say.
You can't understand it.
Can you understand me?
Yes, but I'm telling you, when I'm driving in the car and everyone's laughing in the audience of the radio, I'm like, I have no idea what he's saying.
It's best you focus on your driving, Brian. You're a man, you don't want to be distracted by humour. You might crash into a pedestrian.
Okay. So it's a good thing.
I think it's probably for the best.
It's pretty clear, right? What's going on here? Okay. I just wish we could watch this forever.
This is my first
brand experience.
Yeah. I think it's not listening to him. It's experience. It's just sort of taking it all in.
You are talking about me as if I'm not here and as if I'm an extraterrestrial. I'm from a country that's near to you.
Window dummy.
What's the expression? Fear. Fear. Bad things are occurring right now. Bad things are occurring, okay?
Just sort of admiring the whole, it's the whole thing, isn't it?
Well, thank you for your casual objectification.
It's an experience.
I'm glad that it is positive for you.
It's very positive, absolutely. Any other questions? I'm a little nervous.
You've become nervous. Why are you nervous?
Really? No,
you're a powerful woman. You've got a lovely job. What seems to be the trouble?
I don't know.
You've got hair like Princess Diana.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I've never
when she was alive, it wasn't being offensive.
Here's a little subtext.
Yes.
She's physically pulling herself away from him. I mean, physically, holy crap, I'm nervous. And look, she's across the studio.
Petrified of her. And you have her on her heels.
She's just moved down the other
I absolutely love this. Keep
Willie,
what seems to be the trouble, love?
No, I'm good. Well, now we're going to do a bit of therapy. Would you do therapy with Willie Brandt?
With who?
Willie Brandt. Would you do therapy with him?
I don't think...
Because that's where he's heading.
Okay. I'm all right.
Yeah. You shouldn't say he when a person is present. You should refer to the person by their name. That's basic good manners.
That is where Willie is heading.
Who is Willie?
I don't know. Okay, Russell.
She just realized she messed up his name. His name is Russell. She's calling him Willie to his face. This is like, this just can't get worse, right?
Russell Brand.
Is this what you all do for a living?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm here to... Okay, well, let me help you. I'm here to promote a tour called Messiah Complex. It's here for the people of America. I want the people of America to come and see me do stand-up. Go to russellbrand.tv where you can purchase tickets to see me. These people, I'm sure, are typically very, very good at their job. What is it? You're conveying news to the people of America. People of America, we're going to be okay. Everything's all right. These are your trusted anchors.
Leaning.
Is that a news link? Is your papers? I'll shuffle them for you.
Shuffle. Look.
Give us that.
That's good. Pen. You need a pen.
Okay, coming up later. Thank you very much, Kat. Okay, we're going to be talking about the situation with Edward Snowden. This whistleblower, is it good what he's done for America, or are our secrets being jeopardised by his intentions? We're going to be talking about that. Also, Bradley Manning. Is Bradley Manning an American hero, or is he compromising the safety of American troops? We care about your views here on Morning Joe. We'll be talking about those later. Here with me are Brian and Kat. Brian, nice time. What do you think about Edward Snowden? What do you think about the situation with Snowden? Have you got anything to hide? Should we be concerned about the revelations that are occurring?
I don't know what's wrong with you. I understand everything he said.
No, it's because you're looking at him. When you don't see him and you don't see the lips.
I understand the whole thing.
Stop saying he. I'm present. Russell. What's wrong with your manners?
You're good.
Be polite.
Good.
I'm coming in tomorrow with a big necklace and I'm opening it.
Look beyond the superficial. That's the problem with current affairs. You forget about what's important. You allow the agenda to be decided by superficial information. What am I saying? What am I talking about? Don't think about what I'm wearing. These things are redundant and superficial.
Okay.
Don't be distracted. What do you think that gesture means, the way you're touching that bottle? What does that indicate? What is that? What's the subtext of that?
We gotta go to break.
You need to lose that ring, Mika, because it don't mean nothing to you. She's grasping for the shaft. She's a shaft grasper.
Russell, that was free, but it was worth the money. We'll buy tickets.
That was
Absolutely.
great. We don't need to
There's
see
just
that.
so much discomfort. I should have stopped it. There's so much discomfort in that video. It's just unbelievable.
Complex.
Steve, how much time am I at, according to it? Am I way over? I'm sorry? 49. I still got some time. Okay, good. I'm going to brush through this next part. Okay, so here's the big warning, because we could talk about that video. Literally, I could spend the rest of the night. You know, we can cancel everything. We can stay here till 11, and we can talk about just that video, because there was so much in it. From now on, you'll watch TV much differently, because you'll be noticing all these things, and you'll be like, well, that's a little strange, these people. But here's the huge warning. Just because you can see the what doesn't mean you know the why. Right? I could be sitting here and looking at someone's face and seeing that this, which he did not, but this guy looks angry, and it could be because his wife just next to him punched him in the kidney or something. Right? That may not be at me. Or you're not, are you, yeah. Oh, you're okay. You're married now. Okay? By the power invested me in Vegas, you are now married. Okay. So now, thank you. You may kiss the bride. No, just kidding. Don't do it. She may punch you for real. But I may not know. I may not know why he's feeling what he's feeling, just because I could see the what, right? And that's a big thing. So I could see anger. You could see sadness, fear, surprise. But don't assume that you know why. How do we connect the dots from the why to the what to the why? How do we connect those dots? Tell me, sir. Okay, good. So look for more. Okay, so don't make assumptions. Very important point. Okay, now I want to pause here for a second. Sometimes it may not be our right to ask. So keep that in mind. Just because you have the power to see an emotion doesn't mean that I want to tell you what it is. I may be sad about something very personal, and I don't want you walking up and asking me why I'm sad, okay? Because it may not be your place to do that. So how do we ask without asking? Okay, get a baseline, look for a change. That's excellent. Anything else? let's not go that direction. That may not work as good. We may add to the sadness, sir. Okay, establishing trust and rapport is a great way. They may feel open to it. You were going to say that? And other ways that we can do that is just by using elicitation. So you don't have to come out and say, hey, you look like you're sad. What's wrong? Right? You may not do that, but you could start using rapport, trust, elicitation skills to find out what's going on in their life. And people, when they feel rapport, will open those things up to you. And that's a really important way of doing that without just coming out and saying, look, I saw this emotion on your face. Tell me what it is. People may be like, whoa, back up. You know, what's all that about? So don't use, it's a common mistake. I made it. So I got some great mentoring from Dr. Ekman. As soon as I thought I knew I could read faces, boy, I was like a wizard. I was reading everybody left and right. I'm telling my wife what she feels, my kids what they feel, all this. Epic fail. Don't do that. It doesn't lead to anything good, okay? People don't want that level from you, right? They don't want that. Also, people may be feeling things for many different reasons at varying levels. So it may not be our place to ask. Do I have time for a story? Or should I go to Q&A? Story? You want a story? Okay, story. So I had a pen test, and the story ties into nonverbals. Our goal with this company was to compromise their network, and we were failing left and right at everything. We had one aspect left, which was an in-person impersonation attack. So our only goal was to get them to insert a USB into one of their computers. And we tried all the standard stuff, the stuff that doesn't seem to be working much anymore. You know, we take a USB key and label it wife pics, throw it in the bathroom, or in the lobby, or in the parking lot. No one's inserting it. They're all turning it into HR, like the most honest people on the whole planet, whole company of them too. I don't know how they did it, but we were trying everything under the sun. Phone elicitation to try to set up, mailing people things that wasn't working. So I figured, okay, we're going to go to the company and try this. So this was our goal. Get them to insert a USB key into their computer. It was against corporate policy, and they shouldn't have done it. So we had to come up with a story. Okay, one moment, folks. I know this is really odd, but bear with me. This may be worth it. I think it is. Winning team's going to get a black badge again this year. 5 years in a row. This is awesome, isn't it? Guys, this is great news. Great news. Schmooze operators. SCCTF is a black badge event. We have won a black badge for our first place winner in the SCCTF. That's huge news. Big deal for us. DEF CON did it different this year. They didn't tell us anyone up front, and they told us we're not allowed to promote if we're a black badge event or not until we were told. So this was the time to know, and that is huge for us. And you know what did it, guys? It's you guys. Because there were lines in this place all weekend, standing outside, and DEF CON kept coming and saying, look, we're sorry, we couldn't give you a bigger room. They were getting complaints from people that they had to stand in line to get in here. So thank you, seriously. I know we're taking time for sort of, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. You what, hugging? Oh, okay. Oh, that was it. I thought he actually had something else to tell me. Okay, so back to the story. You remember where we were? USB key and computer. So I put on a suit and tie, no jacket, shirt and tie. I drive to the office, and I have this manila envelope full of resumes and a USB key that has 2 Word documents on it. One is real and one is not. And I pull into the driveway, and I pour my whole cup of coffee all over my resumes. Soak them completely. Now I'm going to walk into the front desk. I walk into the desk. I'm carrying my papers. Woman sees me carrying dripping wet papers. What do you think she says? What happened? Oh, honey, what happened? This looks bad. So I quickly scan her desk. She's got a picture of 3 little kids playing with a little cat, little kitten. You know, it looks like her 3 kids, grandkids, something like that. I'm not sure they're related to her. You can see by the way the picture was positioned, they're playing with a cat. So I say, I was driving here for a job interview. I got like in 15 minutes, and a cat ran out in front of me. I didn't want to kill it because I love cats so much. I did not have sex with that woman, right? Okay, palms up, palms up. I love cats so much, and I didn't want to hit it, so I slammed on my brakes, and my coffee fell out of my hand all over my car, soaked my last good batch of resumes. And she's like, oh no, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I looked for a place to print them. I got to be in that interview in like 10 minutes now. I got nothing to do. I was wondering, like, before I go in, can you print me a copy? She's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Takes my USB key, slaps it in. Now, for this to work, tell me what expression I had to show. Joy. No. Epic fail. Not a social engineer. Sadness. Now, there's degrees of sadness. There's degrees, right? So if I walked in and was like, oh, God. What? Right? That would be to the extreme degree. And then what happens is the lady's like, holy mackerel, psycho in the lobby, security, right? So you have to show the proper degree of sadness. Now, what's really interesting is, I know, that's my daughter, isn't it terrible? She's so... But this is crazy. Only 5% of the people on Earth, according to research from microexpression experts, say that they can produce this expression perfectly without feeling sad. And my daughter's one of them. So it's like, I'm screwed. I am so screwed. Like, I need to lock her in a closet for the next 35 years, you know? It's like she can do this like perfectly. And it's this eyebrow. It's the eyebrow thing. This is what builds empathetic link between two people. It's being able to produce the eyebrow link in sadness. It's not this. It's not this. It's just this really quick 2 eyebrows coming together and going up a little bit, and it creates empathy between 2 people. If you can master that, boy, you can do anything as a social engineer. That expression had to occur. Now, on the USB key, we had Word Doc 1 and Word Doc 2. One was maliciously encoded, and it wasn't a malware or anything. It was just lead back to a server that gave an interpreter reverse shell, right? Nothing terrible. And the second one was an actual Word document. So she clicks the first one, the one I told her, click that first one. That's my updated resume, and it's crashing, crashing Word. Thank you. And then I get a little text message from my buddy. He says, shell. Yes. And she's like, it's not working. I'm like, try the second one. It's not really up to date, but it will work. And that one works. She prints one out. And then she says, we got to get you into your interview. Who are you meeting with? And I say, I'm meeting with Sally from ABC Company. And she goes, ABC? This is XYZ. ABC's next door. And I'm like, oh no, I'm in the wrong place. I got to go. And this woman now, because I had built such a strong link with her, that was really my target. It really was. But I didn't want to have to go see HR because I had no appointment. She walks me out the door, taking me into the other company. I'm like, oh crap. I can't really go in there. I don't have an appointment there either. So I'm like, you know what? You've been so awesome. And I'm just like stressed. I'm going to take 5 minutes to go breathe in my car and then go to my appointment. She's like, oh, that's a good idea. You do that, honey. And she's hugging me and like, it will get better. And I'm like, thank you. Not for you. So.